Hey you guys, Chef Justin 23 back here, and this is gonna be kind of like a video response to Philly 2K, because he asked what's your top 10 favorite horror movies, and I told him I would do one tomorrow, but it's 2 days from now, or like it past 2 days. It was just like because I'm remodeling my room, like I just like repainted like my one entire wall and stuff like that, and put up new stuff there, and posters and whatnot. So yeah, it just took me an entire day. So I'm doing the video tonight. Top 10. Uh, I don't. I didn't really pull out a top 10. I'm just doing this totally by randomly. I just have a whole bunch of movies here, and or mostly some of my horror ones. But I gotta say, this is Trick or Treat is one of them. Is totally on top of my favorite horror movies. It's such a great movie. It's like several mini stories into one, and then it clashes all together as to the end of it, and you could see where all the characters eventually meet each other and stuff like that. So that's one of them. It's a great movie. I have my a whole bunch of my DVDs down here. You can see it stacks and stacks and stacks. I'm just gonna go through and pick out my favorite horror ones, you could say. Ooh, okay. To me, I guess this is one of the most underestimated movies, I think, or one of my underestimated movies. But this is in one of my favorite horror movies. It got to be White Noise with Michael Keaton in it. It's about his wife passing away, and he can't live with him. He can't live his life without her being in his life and stuff like that. So he basically just picks up, I guess it's not really a hobby, but he picks up an interest in the paranormal of like EVPs and stuff like that. So he could just try to find his wife and speak to her and tell her all this stuff, and but eventually he ends up opening the world, the alternate world of ghosts and stuff like that, and they try to hurt him and stuff like that. I think it's a great movie. I love this movie. I actually own the second one. It's not as good as this one though, or the original, or the first one. There you go. So yeah, that's two so far. Just going through here. Just speaking about it, White Noise 2. Ooh, okay. Another favorite horror film. Actually, there's another one in my hands. Another favorite horror film. I gotta say, it gotta be 1 and 2. I'm not gonna, do them as like 10 to whatever, but this will be number 2, 3. Number 3. There you go. Top 3. Number 3 in my horror favorites. It gotta be Hostel 1 and 2. 3 was okay, but Hostel 2 and 1 and 2 were just great. It was just straight up gore, and it was pretty scary. Like because it could happen to anybody that way. Like traveling overseas, could just pick up from anybody. Like anybody could just take them away and torture them. And stuff like that. So it's a great film. So 1 and 2 has got to be number 3. So yeah. Next one up, it gotta be the Hannibal Lecter movies for number 4, like Silence of the Lamb, Hannibal Rising was good. I like that. So but totally hands down, it gotta be just Silence of the Lamb. That was the start of the entire Hannibal Lecter of cannibalism and stuff like that. So it gotta be right there at the top. So number 4, the Hannibal movies. Sorry, you guys. I'm just looking through. Don't buy. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I can't find the original one, but I want to say the next one is got to be Shutter. Shutter, the original. That's the Thai version, not this American version of it. But even though the American version is just great, but Shutter, the Thai version, it's so much scarier. Um, it's basically about a photographer, and he becomes famous, and he takes a job over in China or Tokyo or something like that. Um, but but it but there's this thing that follows him all the way from where he lived before in the United States till where he goes now, like Tokyo or wherever like that, where he's a photographer, and he has his burden or something like that that's bearing on him on his shoulders, you could say, and and it's just and his wife finds out what it is and stuff like that, so she tries to help him, or try to help it go away. I'm totally into these like ghostly movies more because they seem a little more scary to me, so that's why. So I gotta be Shutter, the next one, the original one. It's so much scarier. If you haven't seen the original, definitely check that one out, not the American version. Highly recommend it. Uh, okay. This one is definitely on top of my list. Um, is this the UK version? Yeah, it is. I'll show you the UK version. Um, but this film, I think it's considered horror, so yeah, I'm just gonna say it as. Um, this is one of the goriest films I ever seen. It's one of the sickening. There you go, sickening movies, plus gory films it ever made. But it's so unique and it's so interesting. I love this film, or I love the first two. It's so great. Just the concept of it. It's like like never, no one ever really thought of it. So I mean, it's such a great idea, and it got to be Human Centipede 1 and 2. So that's great so far. I'm waiting on Human Centipede 3 just to complete the trilogy. But yeah, and this is the UK version, limited edition, and it comes with some art cards and stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Human Centipede movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Next one I found. Number 7. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, number 7 in the horror collection. Gotta be my favorite. I instantly fell in love with the first one. It's so great, and then the second one was just totally, like it just continued on with the craziness, and I'm hoping the next installment. Hopefully they will make it, and it got to be the 28 weeks at 28 weeks later plus the 28 days later one. It's totally great films. I think the next installment, if they're ever gonna make it is gonna be 28 months later. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it if they ever make it. But this film is such a great zombie film. It's kind of like almost a take of a Resident Evil, where it's like a virus or something like that that outbreaks and people get infected to turn into zombies. So it's totally a great film. So yeah. One of my other favorites is Dawn of the. Oops, sorry, just slipped out. Dawn of the Dead is definitely on top of my list. I still haven't seen the original yet, but I'm totally waiting on it. One of my buddies of mine is just actually hooking me up, or one of my buddies slash fellow YouTuber of mine. He's gonna totally hook me up with a copy of it, the original. So can't wait until I check it out and compare the two. So yeah, the remake is totally great. It's awesome. It's killer. Fast zombies coming right after you. It's scary as shit. So yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Two more movies. Next horror film. Number 9. I gotta say, this is pretty scary if you watch the original ones. This is the original Grudge 1 and 2. Um, and it just scares, just screams scary. So yeah, if you've seen the original ones, I mean I highly recommend the originals because they are scary compared to other American versions of them. Not going to too much explain it. Obviously, you guys know the Grudge, so yeah, 1 and 2 is totally scary. Number 9 on the list, and number 10. Sorry, guys. I know I'm just looking through the movies right now. Oh, okay. This is the original version, you could say, of our American, to our American movie Quarantine, and it's called Record. I highly recommend it if you ever never seen Record, but you only seen Quarantine. I highly recommend the original one. It's in Spanish. I think this is an I think it's like a Brazil movie or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I know they speak in Spanish, so highly recommend this movie. It's just straight up scary. It takes that first person view just like in Quarantine. But I think the original has a lot more scenes of the zombie-ness of the movie, you know. So yeah, totally check that out. And I hope you guys like my review on my top 10 favorite horror movies. If I do like 100, that's probably like a lot of them in my collection. But yeah, that's my top 10 I picked so far for my favorite 10 right now, and it's going to my boy Philly 2K. So if you haven't subbed to him, definitely sub to him. I'm gonna have his description down in my description box. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. It's getting late, and so yeah, just totally sub to him if you haven't, and I hope you guys like it. Till next time, I'll see ya.